Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your source material and really dig in to find those hidden gems of insight. Today, we're diving into a truly unique set of sources. They merge character study with the strategic world of League of Legends. You've asked us to explore this multifaceted persona, Mac described as creative, intuitive, through two pretty distinct lenses within the game. First, by putting together a kind of dream team of existing League champions who seem to embody his core traits. And second, by imagining Mac himself as a brand new champion, complete with a custom kit and lore.
Yeah, it's a fascinating way to break down a personality, isn't it? We're not just talking game mechanics here. We're using them almost like a language to understand identity, contradictions, how different facets sort of come together to create cohesive. Our mission really is to extract what makes Mac tick, both as a person and maybe as a potential force in Runeterra.
Okay, so if you're ready to unravel this vibe alchemist, that's the term they use, through strategy, symbolism, and some seriously imaginative abilities, let's unpack this. We're about to explore a whole stack of insights that might give you a fresh perspective on character design, strategic thinking, maybe even how you see yourself. Okay, let's start with that first approach then. Building a League of Legends dream team that embodies Mac's core traits. Kind of like casting a superhero movie, but, with champions. The sources kick us off by assigning roles, and the top laner, that's the solitary, often durable fighter up top, is Sett.
Yeah, and what's compelling here is how direct that connection is. Sett is described as Mac's fists in champion form. No notes. That's it.
Okay.
He's the embodiment of Mac's inner grit wrapped in charm, someone who throws hands and hugs. It's that really interesting contradiction of being loud, loving, loyal, but also capable of power bombing your doubts through a wall.
Wow.
It just shows how that raw, undeniable strength can coexist with, genuine warmth.
That's a powerful duality to start with, absolutely. So with Sett embodying the raw power and loyalty, how does Mac's more spontaneous, intuitive side show up? That takes us to the jungle role with Lucian. He's the champion roaming between lanes, setting up ganks, securing objectives.
Mm-hmm. And this connection is, I think, equally profound. The sources highlight Lee's blend of discipline meeting instinct, that calculated chaos in motion.
Calculated chaos, I like that.
Yeah. It's not just about his powerful kicks. It's about that feel it before you see it intuition. Like Mac, Lee seems to thrive on improvisation, but always with a kind of purpose behind it. He doesn't need to see the whole map to understand its flow, right? Just like Mac, they need a script to captivate a room. It speaks to a flow state where this rhythm-based decision-making guides their actions. The sources suggest a blind monk and a vibe alchemist are really on the same wavelength.
That's fascinating, how intuition itself can be a form of strategy. And then we move to mid lane with Ekko. He's often that hide image mage or assassin controlling the center of the map. He's described as Mac if he had a hoverboard and trauma-powered time magic.
Right.
A genius with swagger, the blueprint for a blurred hero, someone who blends tech wizardry with poetic bars.
Yeah, and Ekko's connection is deep because he rewinds time not to escape his past, but to remix it. And that tells us something really crucial about Mac's creativity. It's not about erasing mistakes. It's about learning from them, reconfiguring them into something new, something brilliant.
Makes sense.
It's about brilliance through contradiction, right? Being a nerd and a fighter, a leader and a rebel. This echoes Mac's linguine chef, twisting your noodle identity, that really vivid image of someone playfully reshaping ideas and language. It showcases his intelligent, creative, adaptable spirit.
Okay, on to the ADC role, the attack damage carry. Focused on consistent damage, usually in the bottom lane. And here we find Lucian. The sources immediately point to his experience with pain, how he fights with it, not against it.
Mm-hmm.
His relentless pursuit ability, that quick dash, apparently mirrors Mac's shift from performance to presence, where every action carries deeper meaning driven by personal narrative.
That's a really crucial distinction, I think. Lucian's voice line, "No forgiveness, only redemption," could apparently be one of Mac's hooks. It reflects a principled stance born from experience.
Yeah, I can see that.
But there's also this deep romanticism, crossed into the spirit realm for Bay, hard kind of energy.
Right.
Which captures Mac's longing, but wrapped in humor and hope. It reveals how even profound grief or loyalty can be expressed through art and action, not just sorrow. It's about fighting for something, more than just against.
And finally, rounding out the team as support, protecting, and enabling teammates. Also, usually bottom lane, we have Rakan. He's described simply as a vibe and embodies all Mac's loud flirt energy turned into a support role. Unpredictable, dramatic, magnetic, plays support like a main character.
It's a perfect fit for Mac's interpersonal role, isn't it? He's not the star of the show, but the one who steals the scene anyway.
Exactly.
Rakan's voice lines like, "No need to be nervous, I'm here," they really capture that class clown hiding emotional depth thing. It's that sense of, I got you emotionally, but I'm also about to dash into that fight with jazz hands and glitter. It shows how charisma and emotional support can be just as powerful as, direct damage in a team.
That's a fantastic lineup. So, okay, what does this all mean when we bring them together? The sources emphasize that each champion reflects a core fragment of Mac's multifaceted identity.
Yeah, and what's truly insightful here is how this whole exercise demonstrates something important. It shows that even these seemingly disparate roles and abilities in a game, well, when you combine them, they can paint a surprisingly cohesive and nuanced portrait of a complex personality.
Right.
It highlights how different facets of identity don't just coexist, they interact. You see Sett's raw, unfiltered self, Lee Sin's inner clarity and improv, Ekko's blurred brilliance and remixing of identity, Lucian's poetic grief and loyalty, and Rakan's emotional bard energy. Together, they form a squad of contradiction and cohesion, a team that doesn't just win, but expresses. It's a great reminder that a whole is often greater and definitely more interesting than the sum of its parts.
Now let's talk strategy. How would this team actually play in League of Legends? The sources emphasize their engage and disengage potential. That's with Rakan and Ekko, meaning they can start fights easily or get out quickly. Strong mobility, good skirmish control.
And Sett and Lucian offer that meaty front line, soaking up damage, initiating fights. And Lucian is the backline carry who capitalizes on their engages.
Makes sense.
This team seems to thrive in mid-game chaos and on momentum. They win through adaptation. The general flow suggests an early to mid snowball. They get an advantage early and just build on it relentlessly.
So like Sett holds top.
Exactly. Sett holds top. Lee Sin controls the jungle pace, Ekko roams, especially after level 6 when he gets his ultimate, and Lucian and Rakan form an aggressive kill lane down in bot.
Okay. Their strongest phase is mid-game now. Looking for quick skirmishes, small, intense fights, vision control, collapsing on side lanes.
Precisely. The win conditions are pretty clear. Lucian for the main damage output, your primary DPS, Ekko as the playmaker setting things up, and Lee Sin dictating that early tempo.
And if we connect this back to their playstyle identity?
It's described as tempo-based, fast-paced, flashy, and strategic.
Okay.
Their philosophy seems to be, we don't chase kills, we chase moments.
That's chase moments.
Yeah. This team is all about map control, quick fights, punishing mistakes with high mobility. They're a group and fight comp, thriving in those 5v5s and maybe 3v3s around objectives like dragons or the Rift Herald, those big monsters giving team buffs.
So who do they do well against? Ideal matchups.
They like playing against scaling low mobility comps, teams that need time to get strong and can't move well.
Right, they can overwhelm them early.
Exactly. And also pokey disengaged teams, which they can just dive onto and overwhelm. But they struggle against heavy peel and tank stack comps teams that are really good at protecting their carries and just soaking up damage.
Okay.
And also strong point-and-click CC, those abilities that stun or root without needing much aim, because that can lock down their key playmakers like Ekko or Rakan.
Gotcha.
The final thought on this team comp in the sources is really powerful. This ain't just a comp, it's a vibe.
A vibe.
It's root beer and freestyle, pain-turned poetry, and swagger sharpened by sincerity. This is Max League. This is the Vibe Alchemist squad. It really brings the character study to life through the gameplay, doesn't it? Showing how a personality maps onto strategy.
It really does. Okay, let's shift gears now to the second approach, which is maybe even more creative. What if Mac himself was a League of Legends champion? The sources dive deep into designing him as, aka the Vibe Alchemist. Primarily a support, but with mid-flex potential, so he could play mid lane too. Envisioned as an Enchanter-Initiator hybrid and a vibe-based disruptor.
Yeah, and the playstyle description here is key. Mac thrives in the chaotic, beautiful middle. He doesn't do the most damage, but he enables the most drama. The fight looks better because Mac was there.
Enables the most drama. I like that.
Right. It captures the essence of a support who impacts the feel and the flow of a battle. And that's a powerful insight, I think. It shows how these intangible qualities like vibe can actually be translated into concrete strategic gameplay. It shows us that even abstract traits can be core to how a system, like a game or maybe even a team, functions.
The aesthetic theme outline sounds incredibly rich too. Peninsula Dance meets Underground Jazz Lounge meets Arcade Rap Battle.
Wild mix.
Isn't it? He glows with VHS filtered energy, like late 90s anime mixed with pulsing light graffiti. His animations are rhythmic. Visual effects include root beer fizz trails and emotes like vinyl spins, finger guns, and mic drops.
And the laugh animation, he pulls out a cassette labeled Cringe Tape S and rewinds it.
That's brilliant. It's such a unique visual identity.
It really is all about embodying that vibe. His kit, the set of abilities starts with his passive, called Freestyle Flow. This ability gains rhythm stacks when his abilities are used off-beat, like not just spammed mindlessly.
Oh, interesting. So timing matters.
Exactly. After 3 stacks, his next ability gets an extra effect. A shield becomes a knockback, a heal becomes area of effect, a root becomes a charm, his ultimate gets bonus range. It's all about making calculated, well-timed plays, not just mashing buttons, to unlock these powerful bonuses. The description says, improvise, adapt, finesse.
That's a really clever mechanic, rewarding, thoughtful play. Okay, so having looked at the passive, how does he apply this freestyle flow in combat? His cue is punchline. He throws a fast-moving orb of sound, damages and slows enemies, or gives allies bonus movement speed.
Right. It's inspired by Lucian's cue and maybe Bard's auto-rhythm, and the flavor text says the more dramatic the timing, the funnier the damage.
Okay, then his W is Root Brew. Mac tosses a fizzy root beer can. It either heals allies over time or poisons enemies.
And if it heals an ally first, it then explodes on nearby enemies. The source notes mention a small cheer animation with each use, adding that characteristic charm.
Nice little touch.
Yeah.
For his E, it's Stage Dive. Max lies on his knees like a rock star.
Dashing
to a location. He either shields an ally or stuns an enemy, depending on who he touches first. Its cooldown gets reduced if he dashes toward music-empowered allies, and he leaves a trail of neon lyrics.
Okay, so clearly drawing inspiration from Rakan's dash and maybe Ekko's time leap gives him high mobility and utility.
Yeah, seems like it. And his ultimate, Drop the Mic. Truly iconic name. Max selects an area, slams down an old-school microphone. After a short delay, it emits a powerful AoE slow and silence, stopping enemies from casting abilities.
And here's the fascinating part. If an enemy is hit mid-cast animation of their own ultimate ability, they get muted.
Muted, what does that mean?
Means they can't cast their own ultimate for 1.5 seconds. And apparently, the sound wave pulses to a lo-fi jazz hop track only Max player can hear.
Whoa!
So this ability isn't just about damage, it's really about disrupting the enemy's rhythm, stopping their biggest power plays right when they try to make them.
The symbolism and lore behind this concept seem really deep, too. The sources say, Max not a fighter, he's a feeling. A remix of fear, laughter, hope, and rhythm, all poured into one glittering mixtape. His lore snippet even describes him as born not from a place, but a frequency drawn into Runeterra through emotional resonance. A bar of broken hearts and banter who fights with soul. It paints a picture of a champion who just embodies an emotional landscape.
Yeah, it does. And looking at his team identity and strategic role, his strengths lie in high synergy with mobile carries. Think champions like Ekko, Lucian, Kai'Sa. He empowers champions who move fast and deal damage.
Okay.
He's also good at enabling assassins and diverse, those champs who jump into the enemy backline with his rhythm-based buffs. And he's highly disruptive against channel-based ultimate champions like Malzahar or Fiddlesticks, whose big spells require them to stand still and cast. Mac can interrupt those with his ult.
But he does have weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
The sources mention needing strong positioning for his Q and E combos.
Right. And he can fall off a bit in brute force comps without synergy, teams that just rely on raw power instead of coordinating abilities. And he has relatively weak peel, meaning he struggles to create space or protect his teammates compared to, say, a traditional enchanter like Janna or Soraka.
So who would he work best with? The sources mention his lane soul brother, Lucian.
Yeah, Lucian definitely. Also his thematic brother, Ekko. And maybe even Yasuo for what they call a Cypher collab.
A Cypher collab, okay. And who does he struggle against?
Hard CC and hook champions. Think Thresh, Blitzcrank champs that can stun, root, or pull him from a distance. They can punish his mobility hard.
Makes sense.
And high boost assassins like Talon or Zed.
Yeah.
They deal massive damage super quickly, potentially interrupting his rhythm before he can set up his plays.
Okay, so to sum up Mac as a champion, the sources give us this great TL, DR. He's a support mid hybrid who empowers teammates through rhythm-based abilities. His style, hip-hop bard with healing fizz, poetic stuns, and mic drop ultimates. And his theme, vibe as weapon, humor is shield, healing through hype.
It's a really original take, described as Rakan style plus Bard's mystery plus Seraphine's crowd control plus Ekko's mobility, but less polished.
Less polished.
Yeah, like a thrift store MVP who stuns with swagger instead of stats. It truly makes you think about how abstract concepts like vibe can become concrete gameplay mechanics.
Wow, what a journey through Max League. From assembling that dream team, embodying his grit wrapped in charm and vibe alchemist energy, to envisioning him as this champion who fights with soul and enables drama rather than just dealing damage.
It really highlights how deeply a character can be explored when you look beyond just the surface level, doesn't it? We saw how each champion in Max League Team Comp Set, Lucian, Ekko, Lucian, Rakan, reflects a core fragment of his identity. Raw strength, inner clarity, that blurred brilliance, poetic grief, emotional bard energy, all forming that squad of contradiction and cohesion. I mean, this exercise really demonstrates that even these, seemingly separate roles in a game can come together to paint this cohesive, nuanced portrait of a complex person. It shows how different facets interact.
Yeah, absolutely. And then by designing Mac as the Vibe Alchemist champion, we got to experience how concepts like freestyle flow and drop the mic could translate into really unique gameplay emphasizing rhythm, support, even that little root beer fizz. It's such a testament to how creative frameworks can reveal surprising depths. It shows us, like you said, that even abstract traits like a vibe can become concrete strategy.
Indeed. And this deep dive, I think it really shows us that Mac's not a fighter. He's a feeling. A remix of fear, laughter, hope, and rhythm. And that's quite a powerful idea in itself, that core identity can be about influence, about atmosphere, just as much as it is about direct action.
So, thinking about this, what does this all mean for you, listening? Maybe next time you're facing a complex problem or trying to understand a multifaceted idea or even a person. Consider this. How might you represent their core identity through some kind of unexpected framework? Could you build a dream team of concepts, maybe? Or design an ability kit for a challenge you're facing? What new insights might pop up when you map a personal trait onto a strategic function like that?
Yeah, and this raises an important question, I think. In your own life, how can understanding someone's contradictions or maybe a project's diverse elements, how can that lead to deeper insights? How can it help you to maybe fight with soul or chase moments, as the source put it, rather than just focusing only on outcomes? Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep finding those unexpected connections.